Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? So, this field has now been finished. I'm just pulling the tractor up the hill, and even though this tractor is one of the smaller ones in the game, it does seem to cope alright with dragging this up the hill. We got 11.5 tons in this trailer, not to mention the weight of the trailers themselves. That's pretty impressive. When you really think about it, and you think about the weights and the numbers involved with some of this stuff, it is actually quite impressive, or at least it is to me. I don't know about everybody else, but it definitely is to me. Anyway, my question for this week is a little bit different. We've gone well beyond 30 episodes now on this series, and I'm really wondering how much longer you'd like me to run. Now, I was thinking if we run this for about 50 episodes, we would be able to tie up a few things. We wouldn't necessarily be able to accomplish everything that we wanted to accomplish, but it means that we would move on to a new map sooner. I have no idea what new map it will be at the moment, not a clue, so I don't really want to say or commit either way on that front. Ooh, not quite enough space in that trailer. It's a good job we got the second one. There we go. Right, I'll tell you what, actually we'll put the follow me going, and we'll drive back with the combine. The tractor can follow. If I skip out and get that tractor to follow a minute. So yeah, do you want me to run this series for another 10 to 15 episodes and finish up around episode 50? It won't be exactly, but it'll be around episode 50. Or would you like me to run it longer than that, so that we can get more of what we set out originally to achieve done on this map? We can build up a herd of pigs, a herd of cows, and branch out into sheep as well, so that we really get stuck into all the animals. I would run it then 60 to 70, probably nearer 70 episodes. So you'd be looking at another 8 to 12 weeks, really, before I concluded the series. Goldcrest Valley will actually run longer than this one, regardless of what's going to happen. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to do on that one yet, but I've got quite a few things that I would still like to do on the Goldcrest series before I move on. And the reason that I'm doing such long series on both of these maps, instead of normal, which is, around 40-45 episodes, which is what I would originally think that I was going to go for, is because it's all new, and I'm not planning to come back to these maps. So once we're done on them, that's it, we're done. But it's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section, tell us why you want us to either conclude the series in another 4 or 5 weeks or so, or run it longer. And don't forget to mouse over in the upper right hand corner so that you can cast your vote on the card that should have come up by now. Do you want this to conclude after around 50 episodes, or would you like me to run it for 60 to 70 episodes? Yeah, let us know what you think. And like I said, I still don't know what map I'm going to go for. Sandy Bay is being rebuilt at the moment, and it's being rebuilt from the ground up. It's not just like Chellington was just ported straight over, and whatever necessary changes were made. Whereas Sandy Bay, Oxygen David is building this one up. He's going from the ground up on this one, and the work in progress stuff that he's posting on the FS UK forums looks phenomenal. It really does. I'm definitely going to be playing that map. That is a definite. But I'm not sure yet if I will do a Let's Play, or if I will do maybe do time-lapse on that one. Because I did say when I was doing Let's Play on it in FS15 that I would really have liked to have done time-lapse on that map. The one that I was on was the one that Aussie Lee had also done some work to. And so I don't know if Aussie Lee is going to have another go at that. He has said to me that he's like to work on his own map this time round. He's going to be working on an Australian version of a map, and that one I'm also really looking forward to get to. Move closer to the leading vehicle. I want to oh no, shift like that there. If I do shift, right, so that stops it, and those will turn the lights on, so you've got to turn those off as well. We're going to drive the combine in here, and I've got the cultivator working away in the field there. We're just going to let that one carry on. I'm not going to interrupt him or bother him today. Lower that one down, and lower the reel down Tuck it in as well. There we go. Everything is neat and tidy and put away. Oh! You know, before I get too carried away with this, it would probably be a good idea to wash the combine. You always clean the combine. They don't have an airline in this game. Now, ordinarily, when you'd finished for the season with your combine, the first thing you would do is you'd have airline, and you would blow out the combine. You'd blow out all the dust and rubbish and everything that accumulated during the season, and you just sort of blast it all off. And then after you've done that, then you get out the pressure washer, and you start washing the thing as well. And I can tell you for a fact, and this is based on personal experience, that cleaning out the combine, you open up all the panels and everything, and you blast it all out with airlines. You need to be wearing a full suit and a breathing mask. We used to wear a full face visored breathing mask as well, because the dust is phenomenal. But you've also got to climb inside the combine and have a go in there as well. It takes an entire day to properly clean a combine, right? Inside and out, all up inside the combine in the grain tank and everything, and then to clean it all off so that it's absolutely gleaming, ready to be put away for the winter. It takes a very, very long time to get it all done. Trust me on this, okay? It's not something that I've ever enjoyed doing. That is probably one of the worst jobs there is associated with harvest work, is cleaning the combine at the end of the season. It's awful. It is absolutely terrible, terrible task to have to do. But we're done there. At least we don't have to be absolutely blasted and covered in dust when we're doing it in this game. But yeah, that's not fun. That really isn't entertaining at all. There's nothing enjoyable about that. Right, if we press escape, we are being offered 1447 at the mill. We got 2,800 litres of canola, and we're going to be planting sunflowers. So I think we're okay. Because we got over 15,000 here still, plus what we got in the trailer, we're going to fill up the other trailer, the second one, and we're going to take the 2 trailer loads to the mill. And I just need to know where the mill is now. Transport, grain elevator, mill is down there. Right, so it's literally just down the road. That's quite close. Okay. So we're going to take a load of beans to the mill, and we're going to sell that. That is going to go in the pot towards our 2 new fields that we want to get. And we come through here and underneath. And then when we've bought the 2 new fields, I'm thinking that we'll expand on the pigs next, so that we can get towards our 100 pigs a lot faster. Because as soon as we get to our 100 pigs, we are then... Right, 23,000 litres of beans leaves us still 7,500. That's excellent. There we go. And I'll come in cab for this, and we're away. Better turn on my beacons. Right. Checking traffic. Yeah, so... We'll be able to buy the field soon. After this episode, I am going to, or I might actually make a start on it at the end of this episode. I'm going to go and start the sugar beet harvest on the other small field, and I will finish that, and I will also do some more jobs, and I'll get both of those fields planted so that we can buy them in our next episode. I'm hoping I'll get enough money from this and from doing those jobs that we can buy those 2 fields. So that task will then be done. And once we've bought those 2 fields, then obviously the next thing is we're going to start getting any spare money we can, and we're going to keep buying pigs until we reach 100. Because once we reach 100, I know that we're buying pigs, and then when you immediately sell them, you get a lot less than you paid for them, but we're selling what we get over 100 pigs. And we're going to be getting quite a lot of pigs, compared to the amount that the population of pigs is growing by at the moment. If we invest more money into it, we're going to be getting a faster return on it. And so we should be able to make a decent bit of money from our pigs at long last, which means that most of the grain that we produce now will start going into those pigs. Now, I suppose I should really have turned right just then, but I wanted to go on to the end purely just to take a slightly more scenic route, take a look around. And if we start indicating here, you look at those banks over there. Looks like they've had quite a bit of problem with erosion there. It looks like they've just sort of slid down into the river slightly. So I'm guessing that they've had some floods and erosion here, causing them to... That's what's caused them to do that, is slip down. So there is land getting washed away here. It's not necessarily a good thing. You don't really want that. Now then. Yeah, the roundabout goes backwards here for me. It's backwards to me because of where I live, and I actually want to be on the inside because I'm going past the first couple of exits. I'm going all the way around here. This is the exit that I want, I think. It would help if I stayed on the correct side of the road. Right. Is this the one that I want? I'm going to have to press escape to have a look at this. Biomass heating plant up there. Yeah, mill. This is the mill, and then the next one down is the freight yard. So if I want to come down here and go round in a circle. I'm a bit lost at the moment. I've never been in here before. Ah, there we go. Right, there's the mill. Which is actually right next to the freight yard. You got the mill. So do you... Okay, now I'm confused. So is the freight yard like... Do you get the money immediately? What happens over here? There's this one... Because you've got the freight yard. Oop. Oh, and then the freight yard one, that one's just there. That one doesn't have any carriages. That's just a train on its own. Let's just take a look here. So what sells in it? That's just a single train with nothing with it. And it doesn't look like you get to send the train away anyway. So what do you do with this one? You bring this one up here. Ah, right. So that... Oh, that still sends the train away. And there's potatoes going here. Maybe you don't... Maybe it only sells potatoes. But there's no carriages. No carriages on the train. So I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if that's intended. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm assuming that once I've sold the beans here, I then go there and that sends them off. So let's pull up. I'm going to do this little bit out of cab so that we can take a look at stuff being tipped. And what price are we getting now? What's being offered? Still 14.47. That's a good price. Come down here. Right. I actually want to go this way so that I can see behind. There we go. Right. And tip. Getting a good price. A nice lot of... Look at the money going up. Oh, that is fantastic. 22,000 euros. Or nearly... Well, yeah, nearly 22,000. That's not far out of 22,000, really, is it? And tip the next one. This one we're not going to get quite so much, but we are still going to get a good amount of money. 2, 93, 94, 95,000. There's another 11,000 euros there. The price has now come down to 1394. We got a good amount of money from that. I'm quite pleased with that. So we're now at 95,000. By the time I've done a few jobs up in the other two fields, up in 15 and 20, that will then be complete. So let's go here and send this away. Do we get a little bit more money after this as well or not? This is the big question now. Because if we get even more money after that, that is just going to be priceless. This is going to be brilliant. We are going to be well on our way to earning some decent cash. Now we're going to have to go up round the loop now and start heading back up towards our farm. What's flashing over there? Oh, no, that's sunflowers. Sunflowers on great demand up there, but they're not going to really do us much good because we don't have any. But we are going to be planting some. So yeah, we'll plant 2 fields of sunflowers down at the farm, and we will also plant 2 fields of corn up at the top. Harvest both of those, and that will keep the pigs. Most of the grain that we do now will be kept for pigs. It just feels like we'd end up making more money by feeding it into the pigs than we will by doing it any other way. And we still... It looks like you can send the train away, and it's just kind of something that you can do because we haven't had any increase in money. I was hoping that it would kind of give us an extra boost, but it doesn't appear to have given us anything at all. Right, we want to come back up this way, and so long as I've not gotten hopelessly lost, this should take us straight back towards our farm. Now, we'll go and see how the cultivating is getting on, and then I'm going to head over to 1520 so that I can finish up by getting started on the second sugar beet harvest. So I might actually do that. I might actually do the sugar beet harvest another time in between this episode and the next one, because I did sugar beet last time. There was a slurry spreading job that was available, so we could do that one, and then we can work on it. But there's something else I'd like to do soon as well. There's some roller packs that you can get that supposedly work the same as weeders. Now, in real life, a weeder you would use in the first growth stage of the crop, because the crop is very small, and because the crop is very small, the weeder it scrapes out the little weeds, but it doesn't damage the actual crop. You wouldn't use it in later stages because it would just damage the crop as well, although the game allows you to use it in later stages. So I choose not to, purely to try to keep realism. Simply because of the real life thing. But there are some roller packs that I've had a look at. They're supposed to work the same way as weeders. Now, I think the game mechanics will actually allow you to use a weeder immediately after sowing, so before the plants have come through. Now, obviously, again, I wouldn't do that because that's not realistic. But for a roller, it's beneficial to plants and increases germination rates if you can roll them after you've seeded them, because it presses them into the ground. And so it does improve the germination rate. So if it works, I want to try and use some rollers immediately after we've done our planting. We're going to have to sort of follow them around because we do this on 5 times speed. It does mean that we're going to end up moving forward a stage, and you wouldn't use rollers. Very often when you do your seed drilling, as you're still finishing the field, the person with the roller, they are moving into the field as you're coming out with the seed drill. That's how quickly you follow on behind, and that presses it all down, and it does help with germination rates. So I'm kind of hoping that we could do the same here, and then it would kind of count as a fertilizer stage for game mechanics. But I think that would add a kind of little level of realism for us. So I'd like you to discuss that today for today's topic of discussion. What do you think of me using a roller pack as a fertilization stage? I know it's not actually fertilizing the field, but what it is doing is it's increasing the germination. So we could say that that's kind of a similar thing, kind of like the weeders. The weeders have got their own sort of unique take on things, and I know that we don't actually fertilize the field when we're weeding, but at the same time, because it gives the plants a bit of a boost, that's how we justify it. So yeah, the topic of discussion is the roller packs that are available for the game. What do you think of them, and do you think that you would be okay with me using them to improve the germination rates immediately after we finish doing sowing, so that we can and then class it as like the fertilization stage that the game does? What do you think of that? What's your thoughts on that particular subject? We'll just come on round here, and we'll do what we normally do and just work from the outside in. I'm not going to use GPS on this one. I'll see if I can do this by eye. And if I could straighten up and get it to come in right. There we go. That's a bit better, I think. The animation does actually go a little bit wider than the actual fertilizing does, so there is that to take into account. I like that when you do these missions, if you go to just a freshly harvested field, it does actually give you, 9 times out of 10, it gives you slurry to spread. I've got a feeling it doesn't actually give you fertilizer to spread at all in these missions when you just finish doing harvesting, because it's kind of representing cultivating in manure or slurry, which is quite good. I do like that. Actually, come to think of it, I've never seen a manure spreader on here, have I? No, I don't think manure spreaders are an option for missions. I think it's only slurry spreaders. So manure spreading is something that we haven't done at all yet. Something that we will do. We need to get the IT runner, don't we? That is the one that everybody wanted. Wanted the IT runner with the slurry spreader on that one. So we're going to have to, once we've gotten our pigs, that's kind of the next thing. The money that we get from the pigs, I'm hoping, is going to help us a long way towards A, buying our tractor, B, buying our IT runner, the whole pack and everything that we need to get. We need to get the trailer, we need to get the slurry spreader, we'll need to get the manure spreader, And C, we also need to get the big baler, the square baler, and we need to get I can't trying to think of the name. Artisan, the bale stacker, the 16 bale artisan. That's the one that we're going to also get. So we got quite a lot of things that we want to get, and I'm going to try to get them all in before we finish this series, regardless of whether we finish it in 5 weeks or if we finish it in about 12 weeks. Yeah, I'd like to try and get most of them done, but obviously if I don't, I'll do what I did in FS15, and I will carry over those votes, and we may even start the next map with some of those already. I did that last time. When we started Sandy Bay, we had the massive, great big Pecan mixer, and I started the map with the Pecan mixer, because I felt that, you'd all voted for it, and I did test it very, very briefly no, it wasn't Sandy Bay, it was in Melbury Estate, because we went from Melbury, and then moved to Sandy Bay, didn't we? So I might end up doing the same again in this map, if we aren't able to get everything realistically. I mean, I think that doing some missions off camera is good, but doing 100 missions off camera just so I've suddenly got a mountain of money in between 2 episodes isn't all that realistic an approach, so it's not something that I'm planning on doing. I will try to do a few missions. I'm gonna do a few missions here. I'm going to do some cultivating and everything, and I'll do the other field, and I'm going to try and get that done before the next episode this week. So the final episode this week, these 2 should be sown and done and ready, and there we go. Right, so we've now got 99,000 euros. Let me just nip over here and see how much this field is. The one field that we've just been looking at, field 20, that one was 59,000. This one, he's almost, by the time we've done the harvesting in that's 62,000. So that's going to be about the same. We're looking at about 120,000 euros. And once we've got 120,000 euros, we buy both these fields, and then of course the next stage is to join them both together, and don't know when I'll probably end up joining them both together after we've done a first harvest off them, because I mean this one wants me to cultivate now. That's another 9,000. Ooh, do I cultivate or do I wait? I'm going to leave it for now. We're going to drive back to the yard and we're going to see how our cultivator is getting on, and because he's almost finished that field, so we might just move him up to the top before the end of this episode. And like I said, I'm not going to start actually planting until I've got the other fields. Oh, no, actually, scratch that. Oh, the other thing. Yeah, there was one other thing. I knew there was something else that I was supposed to talk about. I did mention it in Goldcrest, but I know some people only watch Sosnovka and some people only watch Goldcrest. I asked you last week, not last week, I actually asked you the week before, and I completely forgot about it last week, what this sign is up here. I didn't have a clue what it said. I had a couple of replies, and I was told that this is actually written in Russian, and it says bus stop. Or it says the word bus stop in the Russian word for bus stop. So yeah, that's all it says. It just says bus stop. So there you go. Thank you very much for the people that answered that one, and I do apologise for not mentioning it last week. I completely forgot about it. We got sort of carried away with harvesting and everything, and yeah. I am not very good at that sometimes. So anyway, that one has been answered, and I think if I was to put the cultivator onto this tractor and run the cultivator up to the other end with this one, I could put the seed drill onto the little tractor and we could start planting the sunflowers here. The only problem with that is what I want to do with the rollers, and I need to do the rolling very, very quickly after I've done the planting, preferably while I'm working the field at the same time, because if I don't, it'll end up moving forward to the next growth stage, and we have noticed that previously. Unless I do magical things and control time, which isn't particularly realistic. We like to try and keep the time scale as it is. So let me... I don't think we will. I think we will wait and we'll do the planting and the rolling at the same time. We'll try and work both of those together. So let me stop here and we'll run over to this tractor. While we're running, my question for this week is, do you want me to finish up this series at around episode 50. It won't necessarily be exactly episode 50, but around episode 50, so we'll run this map for another 4 or 5 weeks. It'll be about that. And any of the questions that I've asked you that we don't actually get to do on this map, I will carry them over to whichever map we move on to, and we'll do them on there. Or, because we got so many things that I'd like to get done on here, there are quite a few things and we haven't got there yet. Would you like me to run the series for between 60 and 70 episodes? It would ultimately be around another 12 weeks. So that we can get all of the different things done that we wanted to achieve on this map and then move on. So do you want me to do it for around about 50 episodes, or do you want me to go to 60 or 70 episodes? It's your vote, it's your game. Mouse over in the top right hand corner and click on the little white circle with the eye in the middle, and you'll be able to cast your vote there. This is a very important question. I ask this question on most of the maps when I'm getting towards the end, or similar questions, and I want you to think about it carefully before you answer. Don't rush in. I'm not necessarily going to be doing Chellington, for those of you who do keep asking for Chellington, because so many other people are already doing Chellington, and there are so many other maps out there. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad map. I think it's an absolutely incredible map. It is amazing, but I like to try and do something that's a bit original, a little bit different, unique, and everybody is doing Chellington. So that is the main reason that I don't want to do it, is because everybody else is already doing it. And it's also it's a map that's available for everybody. You can play it on consoles and everything. So yeah, you don't need just me to do it so that you can see it. So just keep that in mind, and think carefully about whether you want me to be able to achieve everything we were after in here, because obviously we would like to try and do sheep, have a bigger cattle herd, the bigger pigs and everything else. There's lots of stuff that we still want to do here. I personally, I'm torn. I'm genuinely torn. There are some fantastic maps that have come out. Some of them just look phenomenal, and I'd like to get stuck into some of these other maps, but at the same time, we won't be coming back to the vanilla maps after we've done these. Once the series on Sosnovka is completed and the Goldcrest Valley ones, we're not moving back to vanilla maps, right? We will stay on modded maps, and we will just move to new ones each time. So I want to make the most of this while we're here, because we're not coming back, and most modded maps have a very, very different feel to vanilla maps. The wide open space feeling of a vanilla map is usually very, very different to any of the modded ones. They may, of course, release a third modded map later in the series, later in the year, like they did with, well, it was this map actually, wasn't it? It was a Sosnovka map. They released it with some of the DLC, so they could very well do the same thing again. And obviously, we would then take a look at the new map that has been released by Giants. But until then, who knows? So trade carefully and think very carefully before committing yourself to this vote. I don't want you just rushing in thinking that you're definitely going to be getting Chellington. I can understand a lot of you wanting Chellington, but at the same time, there's so many other ones there. Yes, it is absolutely incredible, and the work that has gone into it is just phenomenal. It's just, yeah, words start to fail me when you think about the amount of work that goes into it, and the amount of work that he's still putting into it, maintaining that map. That's also incredible, and I don't want to try to take away anything from that. I am in complete awe of the amount of time and effort that these guys put into their maps. But the thing with Chellington and also Thornton Farm is everybody is doing them, right? I don't think that there's hardly any YouTube channels that are about Farming Simulator. There are very, very few of them that don't have something to do with Chellington or Thornton Farm on them. And that's mainly why I'd like to avoid it. I'd like to, go to some of the maps that aren't so well known but are also absolutely fantastic, because there are some real gems out there, some fantastic maps that just don't have very much attention. So I'd like to bring those to the front and let everybody know about those maps, and then you can have a go with those as well, and you may find something that you like just as much as you enjoy Chellington. And that's what I kind of hope to do, is for those map makers whose products haven't been so well advertised, or just aren't so well known in the community at the moment, I'd like to bring them to your attention and give those guys the fair shout that they also deserve for the amount of work that they've done. Anyway, I have rabbited on about this for far too long now. You're probably bored to tears with this. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. I am going to go and do a sugar beet harvest before next episode, and get a couple of other little jobs done down there as well, so that it's ready to buy at the end of this week. And then we can start moving on to something fresh and different next week. And yeah, I think that's everything. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.